I think that could be asked in character.
There's no such thing as spell slots.
Actually, there kind of is. It would be pretty commonplace for a wizard to know when they have exhausted their uses, you know?
Okay, so there is a such thing as spell slots. Okay.
Well, you have to ask, I think, how many spells can you cast? You know?
Yes, and by extension, you would know when you're out.
Yeah.
So, alright. Okay. So, welcome on into session 8, where we pick up the party uncovered the lair access of the kobolds before they ultimately decided to veer off, and they followed the old tracks of the lost adventuring party. So, the party encountered a familiar blue and red marble statue of a dragon, reminiscent of the original. And let's just say Samson rolled one too many of his draconic S's, trying to copy the pronunciation of the cipher and made it explode, but revealed a timeless sword in the process, whose command word must have been the trigger. So, afterwards, the party investigated a small, cool chamber to the west, which was lined by 5 dusty sarcophagi standing on end. Now, each one of them resembled a noble, elf-like humanoid figure, except they were taller, and with ears longer, yet not quite as pointed. On the altar, the party found a potion and a crystal whistle with dwarvish rims, of all things, which read Night Caller, that Ulrich promptly blew. So with the sound of nails clawing upon stone echoing from one of the sarcophagi, that is where we pick up. What does the party do?
I want to investigate the sounds.
Okay.
They're coming from down in here, I'm guessing?
Yes, they are.
All right. I just want to have a look through the door and see what's going on.
Okay. So why don't you roll me a perception check?
Okay. Let me bring my character up.
Of 50. Okay. So as far as you can tell, the sounds are just emanating from one of these 5 sarcophagi, and it is this one right here. The first one on the top right.
Okay. I'm going to yell in the room to stop making all that noise.
You don't hear it stop.
Okay.
I
I'm
mean,
going to tell everybody else.
Okay. Wrong game.
well, let's go say hi.
Well,
I'm not sure if they're in the mood for saying hi, Yorick. Why are you speaking to strange pieces of wind?
Are they sentient?
strange pieces of wind?
Well, you just asked someone to stop all the noise.
You didn't hear that noise? There's
No,
noise coming
actually,
from
I was admiring my new blade. It's quite beautiful.
All right. Congratulations.
Greta, you don't hear a verbal response, but the climb continues. Psychor, do you want to know if they're sentient? How are you going to find that out?
Ask it a simple math question.
You're going to what? Open your senses to it. Do you have an ability that you could click on? Are you just trying to talk to them the same way as you would with a party member? Am I correct?
I can hear him typing.
Eric, can you use push to talk?
Sorry.
Were you bouncing on your chair?
No, I was typing. I didn't know I was that loud. It's not my regular keyboard, so I thought I was okay.
Oh,
Yeah, this
no.
keyboard
It's
sounds
picking
like
up
crap.
everything.
Oh, okay.
So, Darren, why don't you go ahead and ask over the mic? I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, so
You tried it.
I want to know, like, if they have minds. So, like, if I can sense them, basically.
Why don't you give me an Arcana check?
Yeah.
A 20. Okay. So, you do try to establish some kind of a link with them. And if this were somebody like a Narvigo, for example, this would be pretty simple. But there's something stopping you. It's kind of a disconnect, almost like a barrier. So there is something in there, but you can't talk to it.
Do you wait for me to try my divine senses?
Can I knock on it? I want to knock on the door and see if it reacts.
Okay.
Hold on one second.
From the side so it can't follow me. I want to use Mage Hand to knock on the front door.
Hold on one second. I asked if they wanted me to use my divine senses before she said that.
Oh,
So
yeah,
we've got to
sorry.
make sure we're listening to each other. Alright, so I'll say again. Would you like me to use my divine senses to check on these creatures?
Sure, what's that tell us?
Well, let us know if there are any undead, fiends, or creatures of the sort there.
So you reach out with your divine senses. Okay. Now, it does say that it can't be behind total cover. So I'm afraid you can't tell whether or not what's inside the coffin, or sarcophagus rather, is undead. You do, however, still feel the crystal whistle that Ulrich is still presumably holding in his hand is necromancy.
So, like, would he be able to see that if this altar has been consecrated or desecrated? Right? Within the same radius? Detect.
That's a very good question.
Well, he blew the whistle. Oh!
Okay, so you can tell whether or not it has been consecrated or desecrated. So it is an altar, but unfortunately I need to look at the hollow spell because I'm not sure what that does. As with the hollow spell, but they don't actually give you the spell. That's kind of a pain in the ass.
Is that H-O or H-A?
H-A.
So it says that you point and infuse an area with holy or an unholy power. It has a radius, but what does it do? Okay, so within 60 feet around you, basically, you can detect the following. But that is for other things. Where is the specific property that would apply here? Okay, I'm just going to post this in chat. It's a giant wall. Yeah, that's
I think
well, so much for an easy question. Good lord.
I think what it means is that he can detect if something like that was used.
Yeah, but is it what it was used for, or is it what deity? Because two very important questions are there.
All right. Just, I guess in this case, I would just tell us what you think we need to know to move on.
I actually don't see it in here. Okay, so you can tell, at the very least, that this altar has been consecrated, but it was not to your god. Not that that's going to be any surprise to you.
All right, so I know what assumption Gil would make on that.
Yes. It's probably not a very good god if it was locked in a chamber with a necromantic object, unless the necromantic object was locked away for a reason.
Can I blow the whistle again?
You did say that you were going to blow the whistle again. Okay.
Yeah.
So you blow the whistle, and another one of the sarcophagi starts to emit the very same sound of nails on stone.
Can I use Mage Hand to knock on that one?
It is a very persistent sound, and no matter how much you call out to it or knock on it, there's no change. Whatever's in there sounds like it's trying to get out.
Let's just tip these fuckers over and get out of here.
Should we help? Should we help him out?
I
don't think
believe that'd be a good idea, Greta. If these things are locked here, then likely they're meant to be dead. This spell either keeps things from becoming undead or the opposites. At any rate, I'm looking at these sarcophagi. Nothing that should be alive in there could be alive in there. If they're prisoners, then we don't know enough to simply let them out.
And plus, you don't generally lock good people in a closet like that.
Well, we freed the other troll and he gave us money.
He also sent us on
that's true.
a genocide.
And Psychor raises a very interesting point.
What is a bound entity? What are you talking about, Sai?
I think that whatever was in there has been bound by someone. I think that whatever is in there is a small personal army.
Can you repeat that? I didn't catch that.
It's cutting out a little bit. Honestly, I think it might be your microphone. What's your input at? Because it's almost like you're not talking loud enough and it keeps cutting out the voice activation, that is. Because I can hear you type, but... okay.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay. Well, I don't want to blow this thing anymore anyway.
Can we take it? Maybe we could sell it to somebody.
Yeah, we've got it. But like I said, let's tip these things over and get out of here. Also, we're doing not if they're door side down. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. They might just bust out the top, but it's something that we can easily get this thing over with and move on to the next part instead of all of us just standing in a room scratching our asses. All right, I'm going to go tip it over.
Okay. So why don't you give me a strength check, first and foremost.
I'm going to hide all these doing that.
Why can't we simply walk away from this?
I don't know if we're capable of walking away from anything.
This is a very thick, very solid marble sarcophagus, and it does not budge at all.
Gil, do you think you can give me a little bit of leverage?
Why are we tipping this over again, Yorick?
So, if these things get out, if we don't tip them over, if they get out, they'll attack us. But if we tip them over, then there's a better chance that they can't get out because the door will be blocked. And then we can just go on saying that we defeated them.
Because they'd have to lift the whole sarcophagus instead of just the lid.
Why would the bottom stick to the top when it's upside down?
Why would it stick to
What?
when it's standing
Well,
up?
if it's upside down, won't the bottom just slide off?
Okay, so
I'm not sure. What's upside down?
this sarcophagus is standing on end, which is peculiar in its own way. as far as you can tell, the lid is the face that is towards you. And it is trying to push on that, but it's not giving way.
Right. Just imagine a vampire's coffin standing up.
Okay, I missed the standing up part. Alright. He'll help you then.
Alright, so why don't either of you give me a strength check with advantage?
Gonna be athletics?
It could be, sure.
I got a +6.
And 18, okay. So it takes absolutely everything you've got to finally tip this thing over. It is very solid and very stable. But it does smack face down very loudly. So you are successful, but it makes a lot of racket. Are you going to do that to all 5 of them?
I mean, we made the noise.
I was just thinking the 2 that have people or whatever scratching at them.
Right, okay. So you do it at the very least to the next one over.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my idea.
Okay. And assuming you do that, similarly, it does give way with a lot of effort, and with a giant slam of stone against stone, you are left in eerie silence. Your ears are thoroughly ringing.
This reminds me.
Alright, let's go! I can't hear anything, I'm just yelling.
This reminds me. How are all of us feeling physically? Do we require rest? Samson?
Well, I mean, physically I'm fine. I'm rather worn out, but I can keep fighting.
I mean, I'm a little beat up. I wouldn't mind.
You're right, we are the best. And I walk out here.
Then I suggest that perhaps we make our way back towards the Trolls area, have a long rest there, and then come back here and finish our task.
I don't know about that. We did make a lot of loud noises. We might have attracted some of the other...
Yes, that's why I wish to go back to the Trolls area. They won't be so keen to attack us there. You and I could fight indefinitely without using or losing our extra abilities. However, Samson and our other more arcane friends are likely running low on energy. We have not rested since we left town.
That is...
Does this have a door? Is this a closable, sealable door?
So when you tried to open it originally, you didn't notice it had a keyhole or a handle. It only closed when Denarmago put his hand on it.
Oh, that's right. We had to do the special lock to get it to open.
Why don't we just stay in there? I'm just thinking the troll thing is on the other side of the dungeon.
I mean, yeah, it means traversing and exposing ourselves?
Well, I mean, backtracking just seems like a bad idea. Especially that far. Like, if you guys look at the map, that's quite a ways away. Plus, there's a pit with spikes and short people have to jump.
We have the crawl space.
Oh, I might not have been here for the crawl space.
There's a crawl space.
Oh.
It's us-sized.
Oh, well, good.
Yes, that's on the other side of the dungeon,
It
too.
makes it a supremely defensible position. Right? Am I using that word right? Right?
Yeah. Also, we have a large creature there that they would not wish to fight against. If we stay here, then we have to assume or hope that our enemies do not have anyone capable of opening this door. That's possible. So do we want to risk sleeping here with possible mummies and getting ganged up on outside, as opposed to backtracking quite a bit and trusting a troll to watch over us?
I don't think that these things are going to be quiet so that we can sleep. I don't think they're polite.
Narvigo, give me a perception check.
Very well.
You have advantage because you're literally standing right on top of it for some reason.
He's
You
Captain
sitting on it?
Morganing it.
That's higher ground. In 18, okay. So whatever's in there is trapped beneath a lot of stone right now. And like I said before, it's thick. So by all intents and purposes, you shouldn't be able to hear anything. Nonetheless, you think you hear whispering from within.
Psychor, you may know better than myself. Is this sound going into your ears or your mind?
Is it?
So give me an Arcana check with advantage.
Absolutely.
A 23. So, yes, this is telepathic. And it's not supposed to be happening, but it is.
What's he saying?
It is definitely a facet of the mind as well as the ear.
And with a 23 on Arcana, why don't you give me a history check again with advantage?
It's definitely a facet of the mind. These things...
Okay. With a 17, you recognize this. It follows the same nuances as a very old language used by old elves. This is Sylvan. It's one of the languages of the Fae.
Sylvan?
Sylvan, yes. I'll go ahead.
Does that have any connection to Sylvanas?
Good question. I'm going to say yes. So Sylvanas, let's see. I know he's particularly fond of and worshipped by, yes, dryads. And dryads are a type of fae, and they would speak Sylvan.
They're speaking a language that is very... well, it's old. And it's not something I expected to come across here.
Do they sound friendly?
They're the same sounds you're hearing in your ear, aren't they? Yeah, the same sounds we're all hearing. We're all hearing this psychically.
Are we close enough? Like, are we close enough to hear
Are
it?
we all
Like Samson Signy?
It does seem to be a little bit of a proximity, and I'm going to say that you have to be at least standing here on my ping. So within 1 square of the door.
My god Sylvanus is a god of, well, among other things, nature and, you know, the roots of where this world came from. This language is something related to him.
Well,
These things must be really old.
so
Is it-
do you think it's friends with the plant people?
I think that's a possibility.
Well,
Is this
sorry, go ahead.
is this language so old that you cannot translate it, Psychor?
It's called Sylvan.
Yes, but can you translate what you're saying? Can you understand it?
No, that's not a language I've really known anyone to be fluent in.
So, Psychor, do you speak Elven? You do. So you rolled so high, you would know that if it were written, you would probably be able to decipher it from, I think it's...
Oh, okay. It has common roots with Elvish.
Yeah, Esperar. At least I think that's how you pronounce that. It is the written language of the Silver Elves, or Moon Elves.
Mm-hmm. So we could probably suss out the meaning behind it. As to that's up in the air.
I don't understand why we're bogging down on this. They're pretty much taken care of. They can't get out. They can't attack us.
They are talking in our head right now.
Yeah, so why are we still here?
Then we need to find somewhere else to rest.
Then let's do that. But standing around this thing for half an hour is not doing anybody any.
Signy, do you sense any danger up ahead?
Do I?
Well, I suppose you could give me a survival check.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and reveal part of what is ahead. Since you're standing in such a good position. So with the 20, okay. So you see that this is a section of hallway that contains 6 doors, all slightly ajar. And the air here is very musky. You're following the tracks as they get harder and harder to see. The rat tracks here have grown so frequent that there's hardly any dust on the floor here at all, not to mention the quaking that's been going on. It's still been swept away. Nonetheless, it looks like the humanoids that went this way doubled back from the north end and went west, where you're standing. So directly west here, if I can ping, it's this door. But they returned a member short.
You're saying the medium-sized humanoids tracks that I was following before?
Yep.
I'll look at side and say, nope, just fucking more shit rats. Some point, the ranger and whatever went that way, and I point to the west. Someone probably died, though. One less track.
This is a pretty intricate labyrinth we're in. I'm willing to guess that there's probably safe places up ahead. I think we're going to be okay to go ahead.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it, but if we need rest, we should rest before we go.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, that's what I meant. I think we're just as likely to find a good rest stop up ahead, rather than having to track back.
Very well. I still have some power left. Signy and I will do our best to keep us moving until we find a more suitable resting point. Let's go.
I think we should check in this door, see how big the room is, what's in here, and if we can rest it.
Good idea, Yurik.
Okay.
Greta, would you be so kind as to open the door?
Sure, I just push it.
Okay, so you push on this door, and it does give way.
I don't enter right away. I'm just going to stand outside and open the door and see what's in.
Okay. So this room is a lot similar to what you've seen leading up to it. It's full of a lot of rat droppings, crumbled flagstones, and lots of nasty stains. It looks like the rats have been in here a lot.
Fucking rats. What do you guys think about the rat room? Looks like there's a door to the north, but I don't know.
I mean, is there somewhere a little cleaner? I mean, just a little bit, just not covered in poop would be nice.
Holy jeez.
Real quick and kind of follow the tracks that I saw go in there.
Okay. So they're a little bit more pronounced in this room, and they do lead to the north through that other door.
Can I ask? Oh, you said someone died up north. They died,
probably,
and then fewer came back, or
no? The prince went in here and then came back out of there with less prints, one less person.
They went north, came south, and then went west. When they came south, that's when they had one less, right, Ben?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay.
No, you're fine.
Thank you. Yeah.
I just kind of come back out. Listen, I understand if you guys want to rest. most places that we've seen so far have 2 entrances. Most of the time, if you're going to rest in a place, you want 1. Less points of entry.
Let's go until we find a room with 1.
Well, we do know of one room with 1, but that had psychic assailants in it.
And less poop.
Do we see
And less poop.
we see these rooms, right?
Yes. So all of those doors are slightly ajar. You'd have to get a little bit closer to search them, though, if that's what you're asking.
Maybe those things would give us a better option for seclusion.
Can I sneak down there and see what, just like brief peek what's in them?
Sure. Okay.
Do you...
So, it looks like these small rooms are where a lot of the rats have been dragging debris and soft bedding. So, in other words, this is where they nest down, yes.
Oh. Well, what does Mr. Squeaker say? Is he scared of the rats?
He's crawling right in with them.
Oh, well, then let's sleep in here.
No.
You had a problem with shit, but you want to sleep with.
They don't poop where they sleep.
Are you serious? Yes, they do.
Alarmago lifts up his boot and
Yeah. Make some room, Gil. I'm just gonna go back down here. Going in this room.
I mean, Greta, you don't smell them?
I don't know. Do I smell them?
I mean, to be fair, you've been around them for so long, your nose is kind of getting a little burnt out, but yeah, it does have a little bit of a smell.
So, are these, relatively speaking, what is the cleanliness of these rooms relative to the cleanliness of this room?
Marginally cleaner, but
well, then that would be
only because they've put bedding on top of it.
I mean, Squeakers is happy.
Squeakers is a mouse.
Yeah.
Well, look, you guys wanted to sleep in the poop room. I don't know why.
I'm gonna sleep on top of the tipped over coffin.
Let's just move on. It's fine.
Okay.
I get it. You guys don't like squeakers. That's fine.
Or rats. It's not just squeakers.
Well, they're nice.
Squeakers for me.
They stay pretty nice to me.
So
yeah, that's because you. Yes.
Yeah, get out your axes. Let's just deal with this shit.
I'm gonna go down to the coffin room, and I'm gonna stay there. If anybody wants to rest, we should do it now before we go any further. If resting is not as important, we should just keep going. But I mean, we got to make a decision.
We'll do this together, or we'll do this apart. All who vote to brave the coffin room.
Don't want to raid the coffin. I just wanted to kill them.
Mr. Music Man, you have made me not die a few times. Are you still good to keep doing that?
Well, feeling how I feel, I can probably do that about twice.
Okay. Then let's move a little bit more.
Twice really isn't enough, in my opinion.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's stop.
Signy, you said you don't wish to stay with the psychic assaults, right?
I just want to kill them. You know, dead things should be dead, and, you know, they've already been kind of dishonored, so I just want them to be gone.
Oh,
it's a decent
cleanse, though. So you want to cleanse the room and sleep in it? Well, I'm down with that. Matter of fact, why do we even have this discussion? These are undead things. Shit. See, this is me being nice.
I didn't think we knew that they were undead. I thought just the whistle had necromancy.
They're probably undead. Fuck them.
I thought that was what your divine sense was.
Fuck up. Let's kill him.
Yeah, my divine sense didn't feel anything. But that's just because of a full cover.
Except
all right.
for the whistle that Ulrich was blowing that caused all this.
Right.
Good luck with that.
Or in the future, don't go around randomly blowing things unless there's gold for it.
Well, every time I said blow, I had to bite my tongue because I'm very immature. But, you got to do what you can, right?
All right. What we'll do is we'll open these one at a time. Sydney, do you want to help me open it, and then everyone else can strike the creature as soon as it comes?
I would like to hide first.
Yes, don't hide there.
Where should? Can I
No, hide where you are right. No, hide back. Yes. Yes,
tucked in the corner.
she's looking at you or looking at Armadillo.
Here?
Yeah,
Wait, here.
She's just going in circles.
Guys,
Over
on
here?
a scale
Is
from
this a-
1 to 10, can you see me here?
Okay, how about now? I'm
3.
sorry, I just assumed that was going to be a roll.
Yeah, no,
You're
that's
good.
good.
You're good, Greta. All right, Sydney.
Yeah.
Let's kick this
1,
thing
2,
over
3.
and then smash it. On 3. 3.
3. Okay.
Okay. So,
Count wrong.
why don't you give me an athletics check? Because you had tipped this over, but I'm assuming that was kind of all done.
Do you want to do it?
A 24, okay. So, absolutely no problem. You stand this thing back up with one hand. And you open the lid. So, what you see is a very pale, black-eyed, and shrunken humanoid. Now, it almost reminds you of the troll before, only the smell is considerably worse. This thing is dead, and its claws are reaching out at you. The whispering has intensified. Signy, I'm assuming you're taking your swing.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and rage as well. This is my last one. We're gonna rest. So.
Alright, so I'm assuming you were well prepared for this. You get something of a surprise round on it.
Let's see. And swing. Oh, clicked it.
23 for 17. Okay. So you had your hammer raised and you were ready for this, and you go overhead and slam right into this thing's chest. It lets out a ear-piercing scream, but it is still up. So everybody, roll me initiative. Ooh, okay. Greta, what's your dex?
Pretty high. It's 19.
Okay, yeah.
I have this thing, and it gives me
You have...
bonus to my initiative rolls equal to my wisdom mod.
Okay.
But I don't think that's in there. I think it's just from deck.
I might be able to set this up real quick, but why don't you go ahead and just roll for now?
Jesus.
Nice.
A 5, okay.
You can mainly change your number in the initiative. By the way, you're
Yeah. Hold on a sec. D20. If you mouse over it,
Oh, it is in there. Okay.
is it? But it
Well,
didn't roll a D20.
no, that's your dex. That's your dex.
Yeah, so what is your wisdom?
It's a 2 modifier as well, so he has a 7 right now. Put it in.
Woohoo!
Right, but no number was rolled, was it?
Yeah, it was a D20, and you got a 3 on the 20.
Oh shit. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Just be glad that was for your initiative and not for your attack roll.
Okay.
Well, that's just the first one.
Now, Greta, you do go first. So what do you do?
I would like to use this coffin as cover and peek out long enough to throw one of my throwing daggers.
Okay. Roll for it. You do get advantage.
Oh, I guess I got to do that again.
Yes, you do.
Woohoo!
Woo.
And you crit. Okay.
You get to double the sneak dice now,
And
too.
don't forget, he is within 5 feet of me.
Yep.
What?
Roll
You do.
4d6.
Yep, you double your sneak dice. You can either click on it twice if you have a macro, or just roll 46.
4d.
Yep. You double all dice on a crit, and you got 17 extra sneak dice. So describe to me how you obliterate this thing.
Oh, okay. So I climb along the top of this thing and poke my head out, and I throw the dagger down into the top of its head, and then I slide back down, and you can no longer see me because I'm super sneaky.
And it does slump, but that takes us to their turn.
Just to be sure that's clear, I totally am using bonus move to hide.
Hide again? Okay, so why don't you go ahead and roll me that one more time.
Yes,
New stealth
he
roll.
is Pink Panther.
A 10. Okay, so that's not great. But you think you're hidden.
Yeah, I mean, she thinks she's super sneaky, so.
Super sneaky. Okay. So,
Greta, you're about a 2 right now.
Shh! I'm hiding!
She is
from behind you and in front of you, there is a giant slam of bone against stone, and the lids all fall off in a giant clatter. These things have found their way out.
So we had knocked down 2 of them, so is this guy still stuck? Or did he lift his coffin off of him?
This guy would have taken his entire turn to get out of that, so he is out, but prone, and cannot do anything on this round. The rest of them, however, you are not quite as fortunate. They are loose. So, they stumble out almost in unison.
Oh boy.
So, Signy, one is
Yeah.
going for you.
Okay.
And you are still technically flanked. So it lashes out with claws. And that's a 22 for 7, and roll me a con check.
Oops. Can't even remember to take that off. I still pass 50.
Yeah, that's still a pass. As this thing grabs both of your shoulders from behind and really digs in, it stings more than it should, and your muscles freeze up just a little bit for a split second, but you shrug it off. Now, Ulrich, 2 of these things are bearing down on you, and they are going to do similar. Another 22 for 7, and a 14, which I assume misses. So give me one con check.
Oh.
Okay.
Is it a saving throw? It doesn't
well,
really
it's
matter.
supposed to be, but I'm
Yeah,
sure
it
it's the
doesn't
same
matter.
roll. Okay. So this thing clasps its hands around your throat, and you freeze up. It is a very alien sensation as you find yourself immobilized. Now that would take us to a Narmigul's turn. What do you do?
Alright. Going to move up here and get advantage on the one between myself
Between yourself and who?
and Greta.
Ah, right. Okay.
And I'm gonna hope that my new greatsword isn't cursed. Raise it in it.
25 for 16. Okay.
And you know I'm smiting on that. So that's 3d8, correct?
Yes.
I'm assuming these things are undead.
They are. for 16 more damage. So describe to me how you obliterate this one.
Oh, so particularly angered by how it just paralyzed my friend, and having memories of my dragonborn ancestor being paralyzed by things like this, I go in complete rage. My eyes glow with the power of the sun, and I cleave this thing clean in half, speaking something in a language most of you guys may not understand.
Right, a very angelic and highly nuanced voice. But nonetheless, you do cleave it in two, and it does fall. Though, Ulrich, the hands that were once grasping you are still there, but they're not attached to anything at the very least. Is that your turn?
Let me see. Yeah, I guess I would take an attack of opportunity if I tried to move back for Ulrich, but he's no longer flanked, so that should help him. I'll just turn and face the other one that's on the ground.
All right.
Do you take an attack of opportunity when it's versus one that's pro?
It would be at disadvantage, but yes.
Okay.
So that takes us to Psychor. Now, you are outside the room, but what do you do?
What I would want to try is this.
A psychic hammer.
No.
Okay, who are you targeting?
Here's the tricky part. I want to target this one, and if it succeeds, or rather if he fails, I get to move him. So what my question is if I move him into this guy, like, can I slam him into this guy?
I don't believe you would be able to do it strong enough that it would incur damage, but you can move him there.
Yeah. Yeah, alright, so let's do the save, and I'll probably just push him.
Okay, but you are moving into the room to get line of sight on this, correct?
Yeah, I'll come like right in there, and then when I'm done, I'll just move back out. So.
Okay. So it needs to make a strength check. Strength. Ooh, not at advantage, but it does fail. And gets pushed right into the next one, and they both stumble. I don't believe he goes prone, though, does he?
Nah.
Just moves? Okay. But he does take 1 damage as you do shove him aside.
Alright, and then
He snarls. And you move out, okay. Alright. Samson. Likewise, we're outside, but what do you do?
Hello. I move into the room right here. I give Signy a high five, or at least I slap Signy somewhere for that. And then I say, "You got this, buddy," and give a bardic inspiration.
Woo! Right.
All
Wait,
right.
I get the 6 hit points too? I'll see.
Yep. Signy, you heal 6 hit points as some of your wounds start to close. Not all of them. You are still quite roughed up, but not as bad. And you feel oddly inspired by the slap on the ass and camaraderie.
Good game. Good game.
Come on, York, you gotta do this.
Is it my turn now?
I believe that takes us to Ulrich, yes.
I'm going
Do
to
it,
jump
you can
up
do it.
on the table and move over here.
No.
You lay there on the
You-
ground paralyzed, unfortunately.
You were
Oh
paralyzed.
shit!
Yeah, that's why I
I'm
said
still
you gotta do
paralyzed.
this.
So you need to give me a Constitution saving throw. A 17.
Okay, can I still move, or is that my turn?
It does take your turn, but you do
Okay.
shrug it off. So unfortunately, that would take
Okay.
us to Signy.
Can I still move though?
Nope.
Because that's my action, right?
It is at the end of your turn.
Oh, okay.
So it takes every ounce of your will to finally shrug it off, and your body is now yours. You slap away the hands that once clasped your neck. We will have to come back to you. So Signy, what do you do?
I'm gonna go after the thing that's on the ground.
All right, so you get advantage.
Advantage. Hiya! Take it a second. Here, come on. There it is! It
Oh
happened.
wait, and you're an orc.
Crit.
I am an orc. It already adds the extra die.
Oh really?
Mm. It's a lots of damage.
Damn.
So how do you smash this guy?
With inspiration coursing through my butt muscles, it carries up into my arms, and the hammer is guided down into the creature's head, and it explodes.
It explodes all over the walls, your shins. It is quite nasty. The smell in this room just intensified tenfold. Is that your turn?
Yeah, I think that does it.
All right. So Greta, what do you do?
I think that I don't have a focus that I can reliably use without getting stuck. So I am going to just stick with the daggers.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw just a throwing dagger at
You're gonna throw it. Okay.
at this one.
All right. Go for
Wait,
it.
you know what? I'm willing to bet these guys aren't going to be alive later. I want to throw my vicious dagger
Okay.
because that one's
Here's where we
better.
get to crit one, and the thing falls down a crack.
Let's see.
An 18 for 6. Well, it's not a crit, but you do get sneak. So roll your sneak dice. An 8. Okay. So you smack this thing, and it embeds itself square in the chest. For 14 damage, it snarls, but it is still up.
I would like to use my bonus action to hide.
Right, okay. And I keep forgetting. Actually, why don't you click on Vicious Throw one more time? Because you would have had advantage. No, okay, so it doesn't matter. Alright. And you do hide, so why don't you give me another stealth check? 25. Okay, so you disappear into the shadows, which takes us to their turn. So it does not see Greta, but it does see Ulrich, and you're kind of in the same spot, so it thinks you did it. And it is going to bear right down on you. Now, whether or not it succeeds, another question. It does. As it crits rather nastily.
Wow.
Why don't you give me another con save?
Ouch.
Oh.
Sun's starting to get real low, guys. Starting to get real low.
That's okay, baby.
What am I doing, con?
Another con save. A 21. So you don't freeze up, but this thing is bearing down on you rather viciously. And that takes us to the next one. And it is going to target Signy. So it's going to shuffle over here and try to give you a piece of its mind.
Ahem.
And that is an 18 for
Ahem.
A him?
Yeah, I was saying ahem.
We can't see you because you're underneath the corpse.
No. I was just saying ahem. Too late now. Ahem, Ulrich.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
me neither.
All right. With much confusion, Signy...
Oh yeah, he does get attack of
That is
opportunity.
true.
Man, I didn't even
Oh.
notice.
Neither is it.
Technically, Armagil would have gotten attack of opportunity on as well. Because you were right here, weren't you?
From moving away, yes.
Yeah. Nah, he wasn't within my sphere of control.
This guy wasn't?
It was
Mm-mm.
right here.
Yeah, I'm standing right here. So that's not my sphere of control.
Wait.
Right, but you were originally right here.
Hold on. Why was this one on this tile and not on this one with sarcophagus?
Because Sai
Because
pushed
Sai
him back.
pushed him.
Oh, because okay, I'm sorry. I'm tired. I'm getting mixed up. So Rick, you do get one attack of opportunity as this thing turns its back on you.
Yeah, I rolled it.
A 19 for 6. Okay, I did not see that at all. Good lord. Okay. So you smack it for 6 damage. Apparently it forgot where it was, and you gave it a little reality check. 6 damage, though, it is still up, and very mad at Signy. So, it did make its attack, and Signy took 8 damage, but you do freeze up for a split second, but shrug it off. So, a Narmigo. What are you doing?
All right, so I look up briefly into the air, ask Lathander which one of these guys I should hit, and I guess I don't really know. So I just stand right here, and I'm going to go and swing at the guy that just hit Signy.
Okay. Uh, 20 for 12. Are you smudging?
Well, I guess that answers the question if he's still alive. So, yeah.
Okay, that's a lot of damage. How do you obliterate this guy?
This time I say a little bit clear. Thectosa Wall! As the blade itself, you can actually see the insignia of it was written on it. Let there be light. I forgot what it said. And I cut this thing's head off and put my sword at the last gas ghoul thingy.
This is a super quick question. 'Cause I don't want to take up too much time, but you say what's inscribed on the sword?
No. What I
Okay.
said was rest in light, but I said it in celestial.
Okay.
No, he does not say let there be fire.
I'm like, where's mine?
That would have been another question. Okay. Alright. So with a giant flash of light and a head tumbling to the floor, that takes us to Psychor.
I'm just gonna similar maneuver, just pop in Mind Thrust the remaining one, and then pop back out after.
Roll for it. 5. And this is another intelligence check. Wait, I thought this was strength. Oh, it's not a push, it's my thrust. Okay, I get you. Okay, 14. So it fails and takes 5 psychic damage as you do reach out with your mind and pummel this guy, but he is still standing. The whispers, however, have grown significantly fainter. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's my turn.
That takes us to Samson. So, Samson, what are you doing?
All right, I'm gonna weave through legs, and can I stand in the same spot as an Armagil, or do I have to move like right
You have
here?
to move below, yeah.
Okay, but I'm just gonna give a really sensual slap on Yurik's ass and tell him, "Hey, you can do it, buddy." And the roll 20 says I have 1 bardic inspiration, but it says it's based on my dex modifier, and that is 3.
Dex or charisma?
It
Probably
should be
charisma. But still, you have to fix that manually.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just put
well,
1 out of 3 on that, and it'll be fixed. So, Ulrich,
Okay.
you regain 12 hit points from a very inspiring slap on the ass. Is that your turn, Samson?
why, yes, it is.
Alright, so that does take us to Ulrich.
Make that the way it happens every time.
So I'm going to assume that you want to take a couple swipes at this guy. Unless you have a grand plan. Ulrich?
Just wait until I get out of the bathroom. I am going to jump up on the table to the left
Okay.
and come around to the side of the guy. I'm going to hit him. I'm going to use Hunter's Mark, and then I'm going to hit him with my 3 attacks. Because this is my first turn that I've actually got to do anything. I think that's the way
True.
it works.
But Hunter's Mark uses a bonus action, so you'll only get 2 attacks, not 3.
Oh, okay. All right. Then I'll do that.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Wait, hold on. Dread Ambusher attack still comes up, and it's the offhand attack, doesn't it, right? For the bonus action? Only because Dread Ambusher gives me an extra die 8 damage.
What up?
You make 1 additional weapon attack, and this would be your main hand, and it receives an extra 1 die 8. So no,
Let's say the
it's not...
first turn of each combat, though. Oh, your first turn, yep.
It's his. So that is correct. You do make 2 attacks, just not your third because you already used your bonus action.
Right. So then I'll get an extra die 8 and die 6 for damage.
Yes.
Correct?
Yep.
Okay.
And you also have advantage because you are now flanking with Samson.
Oh, okay.
Wait, that wasn't your plan?
I thought he had
No.
very good memory for a second.
I thought he was just being cool.
I thought it was cool that my memory was so good that I remembered that the table was on the...
Oh.
Okay.
More crits.
Okay. Do you have Discord on your phone? I need to send you an image of this.
Oh, yes, I do.
Alright. So that's a 22 for 9 on your first hit, which is considerable. And then that's a natural 20, 26 for 16, but unfortunately your extra dice both rolled once. Nonetheless, describe to me how you obliterate this guy.
I just hack at his head until it's just in bloody pieces and brains and stuff like that with my hatchet.
So you're like really pissed off that he touched you the way he touched you?
Grabbed me by my fucking neck and I couldn't move. So, yes, I'm taking all my fear and anger out on that guy.
And
You know,
down
some
he
people
goes
get
in
The sexual
several
harassment
pieces.
part, too.
Yeah, because he's the one who did that, huh?
Who touched my ass?
We're gonna throw the undead bodies into the rat poop room.
Yeah, let's feed the rats.
We're not feeding the rats, we're just throwing it into the rat poop.
Fuel more poop.
I want to pee on them.
So after that, the smell in this room has gotten quite bad. It does smell like decaying flesh. And they have been in there cultivating for quite a while. And unless the party is out of initiative, what do you do?
Oh, we're carrying the bodies to the rat poop room.
This rat poop room keep others from wanting to follow us.
Okay.
Can we inspect the sarcophaguses now that their things aren't in them? Once we're done moving the bodies?
Yeah, well, I mean, I doubt Greta was going to help with the body removal anyway, so sure.
Sure. So you investigate the sarcophagi. So I want a couple of things. Why don't you give me an investigation with advantage? And Psychor, why don't you give me a history check with advantage?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Greta, on the inside of the sarcophagi, you see that whatever clothes they once wore have rotted away entirely. So there's not much of value in here. You can tell whatever they were wearing was rather ornate and probably silk, but it's just nothing that you can find of value.
Is that consistent across all of them?
Across all of them. It looks like they were stripped and locked in here. As a matter of fact, all of them have claw marks in the stone face that was once the lid. And there's lots of old browned blood all over them, as if their nails went all the way to the bone. Rather gruesome. So, Psychor,
Yeah.
you're watching all of these bodies get hauled out, and with the 24, you can tell that these things, well, they do resemble the elves that were once the very same noble figures carved on these sarcophagi, but they don't look like elves to you, which is rather strange. They're taller, And while their ears have wilted somewhat, they're not as pointy. So, in other words, you don't recognize them as an elf.
Right. How old would they be? Like when did these things become that way?
Over the course of a millennia. We're talking years and years and years.
Okay. Alright, cool. I'll tell them that. I'll tell everyone that.
Could they be half elves then, since their ears are not as pointy?
That would be rather consistent with the ears, but not the height and frame.
I mean, just because somebody is not like what everyone else is like does not mean that they're half something else.
Do we have to question the origin of the undead thing?
Can we
Just curious.
now?
Just keep it in mind.
I would like to clear a spot off on this table and ask Yurik if I can hold the whistle. Can I hold the whistle? Oh, and I want to recover my knives. But yes, can I hold the whistle?
Ulrich?
Okay, I want to know if I can. I want to try and use it as an arcane focus.
Do you hand over the whistle?
We keep it.
Greta,
Well,
why do you want
no.
the whistle?
Because I want to. I think that I can make somebody laugh, but I need a thing to focus on.
Use this
Greta,
rock.
this item just
This rock.
created undead or awoke undead. It is not wise to use it as an arcane focus. We'll find something
Well,
better.
the red ball didn't work.
Greta, we will find something better. You can make an arcane focus out of anything that brings you comfort and joy. You don't need to just grab any piece of
Not
trash.
necessarily.
Find it.
Then give it back to me. How does that sound?
Actually, Narmigo, why don't you make me an Arcana check for advantage?
Sure.
Uh, 14. Okay, so not necessarily the best roll, but as you're trying to describe this, you do realize that an arcane focus does have to be specially designed to channel the power of arcane spells. It's not quite a reservoir, but it's not a mundane item either.
Okay, so can I try to use the whistle?
That depends on whether or not Uruk wants to hand it over.
If she's going to try it as an arcane focus, and if it doesn't work, then give it back, then yes.
Yes, I promise. And she lifts up a pinky. Pinky promise.
Okay, so do you try it as an arcane focus?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I should probably wait until there's someone around. Otherwise, I guess I would try to cast Charm Person on someone who's not very nice to me.
Well, that's kind of an interesting question. Who do you try to cast that on?
I mean, my choices, right, are the ones that I have the materials for are Charm Person or Hideous Laughter.
Okay.
Oh! Or I guess I could try Minor Illusion without using the bit of fleece. Or bit of whatever it is.
Yes, that would work, I suppose.
Okay, then I want to try and make a Mrs. or Squeakers. Right there.
Okay. So, you're holding on to this whistle, right? And it's a very transparent crystal. And for just a split second, it starts to glow. And you see Mr. Squeakers.
Yay! I would put Sir Speakers down next to it.
He looks very perturbed.
Well, no, did that make you? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make him.
Okay, so is the party going to take a long rest, a short rest? What are we doing?
We're gonna sew this place up and take a long rest.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So how do you close the door? Are you going to try laying hands again?
I don't think we should close it.
I think we
Really?
should just keep guard at it. I don't want to be stuck in here.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of too. Like, we can close it most of the way, but just not all the way. That's what
Wait, Greta, how long do those illusions last?
Only a minute, not very long.
Oh, I was hoping to give the illusion the door was closed.
I mean,
Well,
if we
can
had
we
10 if we had 10 gold worth of charcoal, I could summon a pavilion.
Could we just scoot a sarcophagus?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So we're just boarding the door? Okay.
Just put it across, like laying down, so that we could still get out if we have to without moving it. But if anything comes, it's going to be an obstacle.
Sounds
Well, we
so
don't want to
interesting.
have anybody just drop like smoke bombs in on us either.
Oh, well, I guess not. I don't know what a smoke bomb is supposed to do.
I mean, we're going to be taking a risk no matter where we sleep. This seems like as good a place as any.
Does the
Alright.
door open inward or outward?
Inward.
So, I'm good at locks. Can I inspect this thing and see if there's any mechanical component to it?
Why not put one of the sarcophagi against the door?
Yeah, that's what we just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a very solid stone door, and like I said before, it has no keyhole, and it also has no handle. The moment, as you may recall, Arnarmigo put his hand on it, and the blue light shone over its stone face, it swung open all on its own accord.
I just didn't know if it was different on the other side of it. But if it's the
Nope.
same, then yeah, we should move. I agree, you guys. We should move the coffin.
Okay.
York,
so-
are you any good at setting up an alarm? I'll say Yorick. I guess he's not on. Crap. He's the only one who will probably have the alarm spell. Oh well.
I do not recall whether or not anybody has that. I don't believe so. No, he doesn't.
Okay, well.
You
that's
guys
better then.
used caltrops and a hunting trap last time. That's what I remember.
Well, I still got some more cow traps, right? So I'm just gonna put them over the door, and if there's any scraps left, I'll just throw it over top of the cow trap. So hopefully, whoever steps on it hurts themselves.
Okay. And
I mean, I
then, go ahead.
I could also just cast some lights down the hallway so people think we're down there instead of...
Will those last 8 hours?
It would be kind of hard to maintain concentration while you sleep.
Yeah, that is...
I think the coffin is sufficient. Let's sleep.
Alright, so everybody's going to pitch in and upright one of these coffins, or at least take one of that's already upright, and push it in front of the doors. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a lot of grinding of stone, but nonetheless, it is big enough to cover the entire door frame. And you are now caged in. So everybody's going to take a long rest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Is anybody going to bother staying up and watching, or...
Oh yeah, we're gonna do the watch.
Yeah.
None of us is an elf, so no cheating. I guess I'll take.
Yeah, there's like 6 of us, so we just need like an hour and a half. I think. What is it? Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Very loosely. Okay, so why doesn't everybody give me a perception check for their respective watch? And I'll do Ulrich.
Absolutely. Perception.
Signy, I just want to point out that this is literally your thing.
Yeah, never great.
Okay, so Anarmagal, you took first watch. Ulrich, where in the night would you have taken your watch?
Doesn't really matter.
Does it really matter? Okay, so let's say
Whatever
beginning and end, because that's how the rules are.
Sure.
So Anarmagal, in the first, let's say, hour of your watch, which is all you really need, all you hear is silence. Now, you are kind of hemmed in behind a lot of stone, but it doesn't sound like there's a whole lot of activity. You can kind of hear a bunch of rats scuttling around on the outside. There's a lot of activity down this path, but no humanoids. But Ulrich, is you're 18, so we're in like the 7th hour of your watch, or of the watch rather, not your watch specifically. This is the last hour, and you hear a little bit of faint yip-yak. But there's a lot of them, as faint as it is, so they're far away, but there's many little voices.
Not again. I hold my head.
So wherever or however many they are, it sounds like they've been busy.
I wake up, Sai.
I feel flattered.
You're the smartest guy there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you hear voices.
Are they like right nearby, or are they like down the hall near the other rooms?
They're distant. Now that they've been pointed out to you, why don't you give me a perception with advantage?
Absolutely. Advantage. Perception. Did it roll?
Not yet.
Oh, wow.
A 9. Okay. So like I said, it's quite a distance, and you are behind quite a bit of stone. You cannot hear it.
And I'm still sleepy. Yeah. Let's say, if it's more of those little scaly things, don't worry. I don't think they could get through this door on their own. Just let them if they get closer. We need our rest, man.
Okay.
You look like
Alright, good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just kind of, if they get closer, I'll wake everybody up. If they stay where they are, I'll just kind of keep it under my hat and tell everybody in the...
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't sound like they get much closer. It sounds about the same.
Nice.
So otherwise, your rest
So,
passes rather peacefully.
what was the distance?
So in 18 was pretty good. So you know the last couple of rooms you passed through and that long hallway that led you here. Sounds like they're back in the main chamber with the campfire.
The one you the black one again?
Yeah, it's the very first room you guys came in and encountered the kobolds. I would screenshot, but it's...
No, I'm just trying to think if I should wake everybody up or just go check it out. I wake up Greta.
Huh? What? What do you mean? Hi.
Yeah, I think there's somebody back at the main chamber we went into. Do you want to go with me and try to sneak up and see what's going on?
Sure.
So are you doing this after everyone has woke up or in the hour of your watch?
In the hour of my watch.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay, so would I have completed my rest? Or am I still at whatever? I think I was at 11.
So you would technically be in your period of inactivity, which is light duty, and if it is interrupted by, for instance, combat or being attacked, it would cancel your rest. So this is a little bit of a risk.
I mean, if he says he wakes me, then he would wake me, right? I mean...
Yes, but I mean, as far as like sneaking up on them, that's how that goes. For both of you.
Oh, okay. Okay, so as a player, I would say hell no, but Greta is super curious, and she totally would.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
And as long as you didn't wake up Gil to stop me, she's totally going.
So the next question is, how does Ulrich and Greta move the sarcophagus that's been pushed in front of the door?
Ooh.
Well, was it laid down?
No,
remember I asked
it was
for it to
stood
be
on
laid
end
down?
to cover the entire doorway.
Oh, okay. Here's what's gonna happen. Oh, I gotta go.
I have a rope. We could wrap it around it.
Oh, you have
Right
to
for
go?
yourself. Yeah.
Okay. Now, like I said before,
I
it
believe
is...
he's gone.
Yep, and he's gone. So it is a very heavy and very solid stone sarcophagus. Now, how heavy exactly? It took an Armigil and Signy in a very high athletics roll to move, and it still wasn't done quietly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say the ultimatum there would have been to wake up the entire party as he moves it, or let it wait. So at this point, I'm going to say it's probably at the end of his hour of watch. And
Probably let it
rest
wait.
went peacefully.
Yeah, and say I would probably like try and push on it once, get absolutely nowhere, and go back to sleep.
Yeah. The noises, however, do continue. But everyone, it is about time for you to wake up. So what does the rest of the party do?
Psycho stretches
Alright.
and yawns and then lights his pipe.
Hey, can we? There's noise. Can we move? I want to go look at the noise.
We should make sure that there's no surprises waiting on this other side for us first. Greta, I'll need you to be ready with your thieves' tools. Signy, let's get this thing moved, and hopefully nothing explodes. Do you see anything from your side, Greta?
Greta, it hasn't been moved yet, so you don't know.
I mean, it's more. I guess you just want to see if I can see anything as it's moving.
Yes. We'll move it slowly. If you notice anything like a wire of any sort, we'll stop.
All right, so
Okay.
kind of a take 20 situation. Greta, why don't you give me a perception check?
Not that I want to make it harder for me, but I. Okay, yeah, I'll just.
A natural 20. Okay. So they start to move it, and you do see a very almost transparent thread tied to it. Now, how
What?
they got it faceted is another question.
I mean, the moment she sees it, she'd tell him to wait. Wait. There's a thing. I need to disarm it.
As I thought. Good job, Greta.
So roll me your thieves' tools. All right. 23, very simple. You take out a small pair of scissors and clip it. And it looks to be disarmed.
Okay, I think it's disarmed, but they're probably still out. Whatever it is, probably still out there, right? So I'm gonna hide.
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone take cover. Signy, are you ready? There might still be a surprise here. Hopefully it's only the single trap. Oh, Signy, you didn't do your long rest.
Yeah, it was just
Should so I don't want to like get bogged down in asking every time, but I also don't want to do things I shouldn't be doing. When I say I'm hiding, should I just go ahead and roll a stealth, or wait for you to ask?
Just go ahead. It's fine.
Okay.
All right. So, Anarbigil, Signy, you both start to slide the sarcophagus. Again, it's a very loud grind of stone, but it seems like the coast is clear. You get the doorway completely uncovered, and all you see is the aforementioned nasty room before you.
Can we ascertain what the nature of the trap was on the door?
So as you start to step out, you see above the door frame, suspended, is some kind of clay pot. And it was rigged to have been tipped over as the sarcophagus was moved inwards.
I would like to use Mage Hand to bring that down carefully so it cannot fall on anyone.
Okay. You get it all the way down into your hands, and you smell shit.
Ew! Yeah, no, ugh. I mean, I'm gonna put
That's
it
2
down.
games in a row for you.
Scoot away from it, because yeah.
Yep. It is a pot of dookie.
These creatures are very rude, and we are gonna kill them. Let's go.
Kobold practical jokes. Some of the jokes are more lethal. We'll be careful.
Is Darren saying something?
No, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
For the moment, I'm going to doff my shield and walk out the door.
Okay.
Carefully, at half speed.
Yep.
So as soon as I step on the sarcophagus, I just want to check to make sure they didn't have the same idea about caltrops that I had before we decided just to use the sarcophagus. So I'm looking on the floor. There's nothing on the floor, right?
No.
Okay, so I'll step out, shield at the ready, and once I see the coast is clear, I'll signal to the others that the coast is clear.
All right.
Is the coast clear?
Yes. You are not attacked as you step out. One important thing to note, though, is the doors behind you, which is to say to the south, have been closed again.
They've moved through. We have no way of knowing whether or not they're behind us or not. They certainly, more than likely. So, we can expect an ambush from almost any direction.
So, should we take our formation with Signy up front, and then I can be sneaky at the back, so that we have some degree of warning?
I'd rather have you in the middle, Greta, where you can sense things, but also where you can get out of danger. You being all the way in the back becomes you in the front should we be attacked from the... So, Signy may take the front, I will take the rear, and we can fill out the middle as needed.
I mean, I could do it.
Sound good?
Yeah, he's like, no, you need to be in the middle to sense the traps. Yeah, that's why.
Okay. So where does the party want to go?
We're going to keep moving forward like we were going before. So basically, Signy up front, we can fill up the middle, I'll take the rear.
Okay.
And we're just going to keep going forward.
Okay.
I mean, obviously something bad's happened backwards, but we can't do shit about that right.
So Signy, you get prompted to go onwards. Now, like I said before, the tracks go up to the north, all the way down that hallway, and they returned a member short. It looks like they had double backed and decided to go west instead. Now, which tracks do you want to follow?
I'd like to go north.
Okay, to the north. So, like I said before, it is a long section of hallway, and all those doors are slightly ajar. Greta poked her head in, and she said all she saw in there were rats' nests, but didn't actually go in.
Okay. I don't care about them. I'll move forward.
Okay. So you follow all the way over to the northern end. Go ahead and reveal the next room. So just as you reach this threshold, why don't you give me a perception check?
Okay. It's gonna be good. Nope.
10. Okay. Why don't you give me this with advantage?
I only add 4.
A 13. Still not good. Okay. So you see that you are teetering on the threshold of a trap that was actually jammed open, so by all intents and purposes, it should have been very obvious to see. Now, it looks like it was jammed open, presumably by the lost adventuring party. So, luckily, you didn't fall right into what would have been another 20-foot deep pit containing only rat bones, rusted metal bits, and lots of filth. So I'll go ahead and reveal that to you. There is, however, just enough room for you to teeter around the corner.
Hey guys, there's sharp things down there. Don't fall on.
Ooh.
We'll move carefully.
Especially you, Greta.
What?
Last time it was fun.
Yeah. Spikes are mean.
So give me a survival check with advantage as you're following the tracks that continue and also skirted around the trap. 15, okay. So the tracks go... You can see my ruler, right? Just to be clear.
Not right now.
No.
No, you can't see my ruler.
You can turn that off and on when
Do
you
you see it
are
now?
in your...
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. I understand now. Sweet deal. Okay. So, the tracks do similar when it reaches this point. It looks like they hug this side of the wall and go in towards that door.
So like this.
Yes, like that. Now, since that's a pretty obvious indicator, once you start to reach that threshold, you see why. It also jammed open another one. Whatever was in this hallway, or chamber rather, was very, very rigged with traps.
Wow.
Shit. Has he told us that there are traps yet? You said there's spikies, right?
I told you about this one.
Um,
But now I will tell everyone about this one as well.
Are there other... Is that one disarmed?
So these are identical pitfalls, and the trapdoor has been jammed open. So yes, it is visible, and you do see spikes at the bottom, and lots of gunk.
Is there a trap here?
They're traps. They're just already disarmed, basically.
I want to look at the fountain, but I don't want to step anywhere without checking first.
Right, okay, so no, you don't see anything else. If you're being extremely cautious, you could give me another perception check.
Could always use a stick to check the floor as well.
On that. Not that you can see.
Okay, well then she would go look at the fountain,
Okay.
skirting
Ready
around
to use
that.
caution. Never
Yes.
mind.
Greta, if it has an inscription, let's not say it out loud.
What is it? Is there anything inside this? What is it?
All right, so this is another dry fountain on the northern wall, and it looks remarkably like the one before.
Yeah.
And it also has a similarly almost worn away inscription in Draconic.
Do I see her trying to read it?
I mean, I can't read. It's gibberish to me.
Okay. Just I'm a little hurt from last time, alright? The wounds are gone, but the memories are still fresh.
You said it's dry on the inside.
Yes, the basin is dry.
But Gil read the last one, didn't he?
He did.
Hey, Gil, can you read this?
Don't read it out loud!
I'm aware. Give me a rubbing,
Oh, I can write it down for you.
please do.
Because
Show
I have-
caution.
I have the thing. What is it? The forgery kit. I can copy that down.
Right, yeah. So you use a similar technique that Ulrich did to copy the last one, and I'm assuming you bring that over to an Armagil.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So an Armagil, you take one look at this, and it reads, "Let there be death."
Whoa.
I will not read this out loud.
Thank God. Fire's
Okay.
bad. Death is worse.
Okay, well then let's go on then. Right?
Suffice to say, Greta, I know your curiosity is harming you at this moment. The last one created fire. If this one creates what is written here, I believe it will be bad for us. Let's move forward.
Are we afraid to say it in common? I mean, it only triggered last time in Drip. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Let's go.
Just
Greta.
ignore it altogether.
Yep,
Just
I
to-
agree with
Okay.
this.
So Signy, are you going to try to skirt around this next trap to the door?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you open this door?
Can we use
Can
my
I?
mage hand to do it?
That's the thing. Habit.
Yes, you can. So Greta, are you going to try to open it with Mage Hand?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to be like covered, but enough so I can see what I'm opening,
Okay.
and then I would use mage hand. Yeah.
All right. So I will go ahead and reveal this next room. So as soon as the door swings open, a very oppressive smell suffuses the air, rising from chewed carcasses of other rats, smaller vermin, and a few humanoid-looking creatures. The bodies are all lying upon a floor of filth, old bones, hair, and fur, combined to make a particularly large and vile nest.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, the tracks still lead into there, right? Like all of the tracks are there?
Yes.
Okay. That's not good.
You mean the people we're rescuing were killed by mere rats?
It is this
One of
room that 4 people entered and 3 left.
The nest is?
Yep.
Guys, I mean, I'm going in. I don't know if you want to follow, but yeah.
Fine.
Cover you.
Let's go. Go ahead.
What were you going to say, Sai?
Yeah, we'll cover you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm-
hey, good idea. Can I pull out my bow and be ready to shoot if something is there?
You could hold your action to, I guess, attack whatever is hostile, technically, sure.
I mean, I guess it's a prepared action out of combat. Can you do that?
Held action, yes, kind of. But it does need a specific target. So is it until the rats attack, or...
I mean, if anything attacks, it would be an intent. You know, if I saw something come at him with, probably not the rats, but if I saw something not rats come at him, Greta made friends with the rats.
Alright, so let's hold off. So, Signy, you go in.
Yep.
Now, one of them does start to rear up a little bit. It seems like it's rather protective of this specific chamber. And this rat is a bit larger than the others. It actually stands up on its hind legs, which is new.
Oh.
Alright. Is it warning me right now, or does it look like it's an attack me?
It's kind of bobbing a little bit. So yeah, it's kind of warning you. You are
Okay.
stepping into the threshold of a nest.
I look at it very sternly, like, hey! No!
You hear a lot of squeaking from all the holes around in this chamber. And give me a perception check with advantage.
Please be good. Alright.
Not 20, not bad. So you are on something of a landing. This actually goes outside. So this is one of the other entrances that are much higher up that grant access to the Sunless Citadel. And the rest is revealed there. Now you are much higher up, and the air isn't quite so bad towards how do you say, the landings wall, yes. And it's not quite so bad, but it looks like they have chewed access points all over into the walls that leads down into a series of black little tunnels. So there's a lot of rats here. Lots.
Alright. I'm mostly looking for either I'm looking for tracks that lead out of the landing, thinking that maybe one had to retreat, or I'm looking for what I would assume is probably a dead person.
Okay, yeah. So you're checking the bodies. Now, the humanoid corpses in the chamber, you see 2 goblins, a kobold, and 1 human male. And I'm afraid what's left of him does fit the description from the last adventuring party. This is Caracus, the ranger. It looks like he suffered multiple stab wounds. Perhaps the team carried him onwards, but ultimately he did succumb to his injuries and didn't make it out of this room.
Okay. I look to the rest of the party. I say, "Yep, definitely dead." And I want to try to go over and pick up the body.
Now all of the rats start to bob at you just a little bit as you start to go further into the chamber. Do you want to press that?
There's not even any good corpses around. Can I do an animal handling check?
You could.
Okay. Just normal roll, right?
It would be. Now, you do know that they responded quite well from rations being thrown at them.
Ugh. Okay. I have rations.
Okay, then you would burn 1 ration, but you would get advantage on the...
Okay. That fucking...
It's a good investment.
You infestations on Earth, you bastards.
23. Okay. So they seem very interested in your hardtack, and they all start to swarm and tear it to pieces. And this happens within the second it hits the ground.
I'm just like, yeah, get it, you little cretins. I grab... Go ahead,
Say, can the 3 of us see this happening?
Yeah, you can see some of it because Signy's kind of in the doorway. Signy has not been able to really enter the nest. Just for everyone's frame of mind, you are teetering like on the threshold of the door. They are very territorial of this spot. But once the rations are thrown, their attention is shifted away for a minute. Now, what are you doing?
I get the body and I go.
Okay. So you just grab the body.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's very sticky and chewed on and decayed. He has been here for at least a month. So it's nasty. But you do manage to drag him out.
Yep. Okay. I just got him flung over the shoulder and it's like, okay, well, we'll probably find the other ones dead further in, but we should probably bring them back to the town.
Have hope, my friend.
So, do we want to just deposit this guy by the entrance? I mean, we don't want to carry him, do we?
We'll just take something proving who he is. If possible, we can give him a good burial.
Cut off his hand.
I mean, like, but the rats can eat him, and then they won't kill other people, because they'll be eating, I don't want him to be wasted.
Or they'll develop a taste for humanoid flesh.
Is that a thing?
Listen, you guys can do whatever you want. I haven't really,
I would to loot the body?
Nope, we don't get to loot the body.
We were sent here to retrieve this guy. Don't...
I'm taking him back to town regardless.
Yeah.
Like what Sai's saying.
Alright. Wrap him up. Let's wrap them up.
That's a valid thing.
All right. So, does anybody want to like sacrifice a bedroll or a blanket?
I mean, I'll do it. Yeah, if I'm carrying him around, I got a bedroll I can put him in.
Okay. So you wrap him up
Hey,
nice
wait a
and
minute.
tight.
Hold up. He doesn't have his own backpack?
He does, but it's also been in there for a month with rats.
What's
I'm
his
afraid
bedroll?
it's not any cleaner.
All right. No problem.
So, Signy, you sacrifice your sleeping bag.
Mhm.
He's very wrapped up, but still quite stinky. But it's a lot more pleasant than before. Are you still going to carry him?
Yep.
Okay. So you sling him back over your shoulder, and what does the party do now?
Well, if he's carrying the corpse, you shouldn't be at point if you're holding stuff.
We're all holding things that we drop in a fight. It's fine, Greta.
Okay.
A good point is, Signy, what is your carrying capacity?
A lot.
A lot. I
yeah.
do imagine so.
It's a lot. Yeah. Normal carrying capacity is about 300.
Oh, yeah, you're fine.
So before, when I had just my explorer's pack, like my capacity was fine, but I think when it all broken out, but it still has the explorer's pack, I'm showing it's encumbered right now. Do I need to, I guess, remove the explorer's pack since you broke it out?
Oh, yes, sorry. I thought I did that to everybody. I missed that. So the thing is with the Explorer's Pack is, yes, that is all the items combined into the weight, which makes it kind of harder to manage. So you wouldn't have that. There you go. Okay. That should be. I don't know why it's not big. I'll look at it later.
Okay.
You're fine. I know you're fine. Okay, so what's everybody doing?
I guess let's go back then, right?
We need
Can I hit
to.
a
It looked like the
quick
way
syn-
out, but definitely
quick
not.
synopsis of what happened when I left?
Oh yeah.
Oh, right.
Okay, so everybody went into the next room to the north, and you didn't see that, did you?
No, I was going down to see the people in the main area, the whispering people.
Right. Okay, so hold on. Actually, Jared, can you screenshot this? Did you? It's kind of tricky on my end. I'll just describe it narratively. Okay, so the party pressed forward down that hallway with the rats, and they did find another fountain, and wisely decided not to read the cipher out loud, so it was probably a trap bypassed. It was a very trapped chamber with 2 pitfalls, which led to a giant rat's nest. And in that nest, they found the corpse of one of 4 of the adventuring party. They found Caracus, the ranger. So after wrapping up his body in a bedroll so that he was cleaner to carry, not quite as unpleasant, that's where we pick up.
Okay, so we didn't go and check to see what the whispers were all about?
The whispers were the things that you guys killed.
No, I think he means the clattering of like this, the clacking. we
Oh,
were
the
hearing.
yip yak. Okay. Right. No, so you guys pushed one of the sarcophagi in front of the doorway, which was a very heavy obstacle.
Right.
So the ultimatum there would have been to move it, which would have been very loud and woken up the entire party, or just wait until the long rest was done. I assumed we would have went for the latter.
Yeah.
So we waited.
Yeah, we would have lost out on our long rest by checking it out.
So we did check it out at all?
No, you guys decided not to go back. When you woke up, the door to your chamber was trapped, but it was disabled, and it was a pot of shit. Rigged to fall on your heads as you tried to come out. So everybody kind of assumed that the way south is going to be rigged. All the doors have been closed, and that is how you left that chamber.
Okay. Can I just point out that we haven't seen what's in this door yet?
That's where we're heading.
Okay. I didn't know if that was on purpose or not.
Yep.
No, it's
Sorry if I missed this, but did you check the tracks of the other 2?
What do you mean?
Check tracks.
The two kids that Harkness, this guy was with.
Can you repeat that? It's just a little quiet. I didn't catch it.
It's this guy and two other younger persons that we came to seek out. Sidney, did you see any signs of the other two? Or did you check already? I think I must have missed.
Right, yeah. The only corpse that was in there were two goblins, a kobold, and the person I'm carrying. There were foot tracks leading to the west over here, which I'm guessing is them.
Okay, all right, yeah.
All right. So we're all up to speed. What are we doing?
Marching.
Yeah.
Marching.
We're
Okay.
going-
Yeah, I mean,
Was it? Yeah.
we thought we were going forward by going in this way, but this seems to be a dead end. So I
We're
guess
good
we have to
way.
start going in a different direction.
All right.
Except now, I don't know where we haven't been yet.
Up here. Where the foot tracks led to.
Yep. And there's another door over here too.
Oh, there's a door in here. Okay.
And
I
there's
missed
another
that in the
door
poop
right
room. All right, so we're going through the poop room and opening the next door.
Yep. Okay. So
Is that door trapped?
good question.
If only we had
Sydney-
someone on our team to find that out.
Signy, is that door trapped?
I could look it out. Yeah. Do you want investigation or perception?
Perception.
Get there.
A 14. Not that you can see. No, it looks fine.
Open it.
I mean, it's a door.
That's right. That's what it's meant to be done.
It is a door. Okay.
Doors are meant for opening.
It's a door, guys. We've got confirmation on a door.
Definitely not a mimic.
Okay. So, you pull the door open,
Uh-huh.
and just as it starts to swing, you hear the jingle of a bell. It's
Uh-huh.
attached to
Oh,
it.
that's nice.
Yeah.
It's like a shop.
Reminds me of Santa.
So you see beyond this point is a 10-foot wide hall that is liberally strewn with sharp caltrops. Apparently somebody did have that idea.
Oh.
Now, on the northern wall, the passage to the room is partially blocked by a roughly mortared 3-foot-high wall, complete with crenulations.
Greta.
Huh?
I would like you to use your mage hand to move these caltrops.
Okay. She would push them to the side.
So you do need line of sight, so I'm going to assume that you stand in the doorway. Is that correct?
Actually what I'll do is I will don my shield. I will stand in the doorway and let Greta stand and look where she can get some sight. Okay, so she could be looking between my legs.
So who exactly is popping their head in through the door first?
That would be me with my shield raised because I'm an idiot. But somebody's
Because
gotta do
you're
it.
an idiot, but somebody's got to do it. Okay. So just as you pop through with your shield, yes, the crenulations are made for archers, and 2 arrows come flying out at you. Now you were expecting it, luckily. So they are not at advantage, but they are coming out at you nonetheless. And with the
Word.
13 and a 15, it does look like there are some archers behind there. You saw 2 small green heads pop into sight and take a couple shots before ducking back down.
We've got company, lass. Greta, how are you doing on those caltrops?
Well, okay, so now can I be moving them? While you're doing that?
One at a time with Mage Hand?
I mean, can't you, like, sweep it? The mage hand doesn't take damage, right?
It's a lot of caltrops. I'll let you do it one square at a time.
I mean, okay, yeah. I mean,
Or you could deal with the caltrops. So that would take you roughly 3 turns of sweeping to get down a 15 feet long hallway.
Do it, Greta. We need room to maneuver. I can block their arrows.
Can we move through them at half speed?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
I
we
didn't know
can?
if that was the rule for it or not.
I'm pretty sure that's well. Unless
Yeah,
we
there's
said
something.
otherwise.
There's something you can move through at half speed. I just don't remember what exactly it was. It might not even be this game, to be honest with you.
I'm double checking. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Because that is an important thing to note. But roll 20 is being a pain in my ass. Thank you. Right, yeah, you can do it at half speed.
Okay.
I
well,
was wrong.
Or no, minus 10 feet, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's almost half speed. And I also have plus
A little
2 to
bit
my
less than half speed. Okay.
plus 2 to my initiative.
So you rolled a 15. So
Yeah.
you have 17. Here you go.
Thank you.
And I need to grab their initiative. It will comply. A natural 1. Wonderful. Alright. And you did see these guys, but they also did duck back down and hide, so I need a stealth roll. Okay. So how combat stealth works is unless it is below your passive perception, you will need to take your turn to spot them. It is a rather pain in the ass.
and your passive perception is
I believe
10 plus perception.
10 plus your modifier on perception. So their stealth. Hold on. Rather slow. Come on, damn it, roll. There we go. 21. Yeah, so you don't see them behind the high wall. And sorting. Samson, you're the first up. Are you going to try to go in? Or are you waiting?
I just saw arrows happen, so I'm going to step a little further out of the way and hold my action.
Okay. What are you holding your action for?
I guess I'm not holding my action for anything. I'm just not doing anything.
Okay, so you're bypassing. Ulrich, what do you do?
I'm just gonna stand right here because I don't have enough movement really to do much.
Okay. And that's your turn?
Can I see in there and like hit a guy with an axe or a sling?
Nope.
No,
You cannot see them.
Right. All right.
All right. So, Anarmigo, what do you do?
I'm going to start the movement inside at half speed. And am I able to kick some caltrops as I walk as a free action?
No.
Am I able to use my action to kick some caltrops as I walk forward?
I suppose. So you manage to clear 5 feet of caltrops as you move in at half speed, correct?
Yeah.
So you make it to about here, but you only cleared about here.
Oh. Well, damn. That's not that helpful. Oh, well.
well. I mean, you clearing coupled with some mage hand, we can get a little bit more clear space.
Oh, yeah,
at
yeah.
least.
Greta did clear some, so she cleared this first group with her initial sweep.
Yeah, sorry. So you got to here. That's fine.
All right, so right here is clear too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So there are now half the caltrops in the pass that you guys need to go through. Is that your turn?
That is my turn. I am going to pretend that I'm Crimson and take the defense action.
Signy, what do you do?
You said this thing was 3 feet tall, right?
It is a 3-foot tall wall, yes.
Okay.
Taller than me.
So, just the way that jumping works, it's all completely based on your strength score.
Yes.
I'm wondering if I can just hop the thing.
Is there? Yeah, like what? Is it 3 feet tall, and then there's empty space above it?
It is the room beyond it, so yes, presumably.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a full wall. Sorry.
No. It's just like a half wall, like
Okay.
a sandbag wall, for example.
Yeah.
So a long jump with a 10 feet run up is your strength score in feet that you can cover, and
But
then
it
a high
still has
jump.
to be part of your movement. You can't go beyond.
Right, which is fine.
You do have 10 feet, though, because
exactly.
these first two are clear. And if you want, I can let you jump off of my ship.
So you would have 5, 15, and you would, yes, you can move all the way through with a long jump.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that's plenty for, yeah, it would work.
So I'm just like, okay, sit down.
I'll brace myself and let you jump off of my ship.
I sit down the port ranger guy, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And I start running, and I curve around, and then I leap up, and I just do like a hopscotch off of Gil's shoulder, and then I land on the other side.
All right. And I did assume that you dropped his body, right? Did I hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you jump all the way to the other end, and you land. You do not, however, see anybody beyond the wall. So what do you do?
That was my movement. I mean, I'll just use an action to look around.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Go.
You don't see them. You see the tracks of somebody who passed through here and a bit of activity, but I'm afraid not. So, Greta, what do you do?
I would move the 10 feet, and then I would use my action to get the mage hand to clear more caltrops.
Okay. Another 5 feet of caltrops has been cleared.
And then I would ask Gil to please set me on top of the wall. Can you do that? Is that allowed?
Not in combat time, great.
Okay, well then can I climb over Gil to get on top of the wall?
You only move 10 feet, so I'm going to say you can't do that.
Okay, so then that would put me, I guess, there.
Yep.
Okay, and he couldn't see anything. So I would like to prepare an action and have my bow pointed, ready to attack if anything pokes its head out.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and reveal the rest of the room. And the door that was left open.
Okay, guys, there's nothing in here. Y'all come on. Yeah, that would be my turn.
Okay.
I guess
So,
I'll
Psychor, what do you do?
I'll just follow along. I'd come up right. Where does my movement get me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll just come up right behind Gil.
Okay. All right. And is that your turn?
Yeah, can I get over this thing in my movement?
Sure. All right. So I am actually going to drop the initiative since this reached their turn after this. And I'm basically going to suspend it. So narratively, we're out of combat time. Everybody reaches the other side just fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm surprised.
Kind of sad I get all worked up for that, but I go back and get the stiff, and then I come back. just want it said, just so I'm not like, oh, you come back and he's eaten by rats. Like, okay.
I'm surprised Greta didn't collect the caltrops.
I mean, there is about 200, but it would take you a long time to do.
Yeah.
Greta, we need to get you an old-timey vacuum cleaner. And we just suck up all the cow traps.
I mean, I do really like brooms. That would be a wonderful birthday present.
That's a fair point.
All right.
What's
So,
that fire look like? Sorry, go ahead.
We are at our 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
So, narratively, as everybody crosses the threshold and starts to investigate, you don't see a whole lot in this room. You do see that a fire has been lit here, and it is still burning, although it's rather small. It looks like another cook fire. So the guards here have been eating rather well, although God only knows what they're eating.
Or who.
Oh
or
man,
who.
Ben, I just realized I forgot to mention out loud that I plan to get to know my sword better during my long.
Okay. All right, so I'll probably direct message you after, because it was a long rest. I'll go ahead and be doing that for just about everybody, I think. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap up. So the filth on the floor, Signy, you see lots of stains on the walls, shabby hides, and the fire pit has seen a lot of use. So it's been at the hands of a lot of creatures unconcerned with hygiene, let's go ahead and say. And on the eastern side, hold on. I'm getting mixed up again. Alright, so the eastern wall is crudely mortared similarly. So everything in here is very loose, very old, and very shabby. Now, like I said before, you see a lot of traffic with goblins, but the 3 humanoids did pass through here at one time. But their tracks have been covered. So give me a survival check.
Okay. You
Just
want
real quick.
advantage or?
Flat.
I can help because I have survival.
Oh, right. So still with advantage, but from Rurik. Both of you are looking at this, trying to figure out what the fuck happened. Right.
We both have advantage?
Well, one of you would, so let's just call it 22. It's fine.
Alright.
You do see it continue, but there's a lot of little feet that have been covering it up. Now, it is more than reasonable to say that these are goblins, and they use this pass a shit ton. You can't tell how many pairs are unique, but it's frequent.
Signy. Sorry.
Go ahead. It's fine.
Signy. If I'm not mistaken, goblins and kobolds are hardly allies.
Not to my knowledge. No, I don't know of them ever working together.
What have we stepped into?
A turf war.
What exactly
I
does your
think-
friend do?
I think that's
Do you
Russian.
think It's some sort of enemy of my enemy deal.
In the background, you start to hear drums, and lots of little voices, and even a few big ones, start to be raised in the distance, echoing down that small, narrow hallway to your south. And I'm
These
afraid,
goblins, we have to kill every one of them.
I'm afraid that's where we're going to leave this session.
Yeah.
All right. So,
All right. Good
good
job.
game.
Thank
Yeah.
you for running
game
tonight.
goes.
Alright, cool.
Yep. Have a good night,
See
guys.
us.
Thank
All right. So goblins and kobolds are tiny, they're evil, and they're not friends.
Basically.
And they
Whether or
both
not
smell
we
bad.
could, whether or not we could or would try to negotiate with either side of them, I don't know. I do know that you would have to convince a Narmagil to ally with goblins.
Their filthy
Teamwork.
Greta would not make friends with them.
Well, I know that Psychor mentioned enemy of my enemy. So if Psychor believes in that highly enough, he's going to have to convince Gil that it's
Oh.
worthwhile.
I mean,
Okay.
Psychor, why don't you go ahead and give me a history check on goblins?
Yeah, I was
Since
just
this is
suggesting
kind of
that
coming
we-
up.
let me do the roll. I wasn't suggesting that we ally with them. I was suggesting that maybe they were working together because of another greater threat.
Ah, okay.
Okay, yeah. That's interesting.
So with a 22, that would start to make a lot more sense. Now, goblins, they're not nice. Let me go ahead and see if I have a handout on them.
I think we have one already revealed.
You do. It only has a basic description. Okay. So, you know that they are almost all exclusively evil. They're very tribal, and only the strongest one leads. Very rarely is the smartest, but they don't really work alone. At least they're never very organized. And as it was said before, with the 22, you readily recall that for some reason, the activity in here has been heightened, almost as if they're being led. That kind of presence would suggest something like a hobgoblin or a bugbear, which you have also encountered before. Those guys they come in and they lead as the brute force. You do what I say or you get beat into the line. So, yeah, they probably are working with something. And like I said, you heard a few larger voices in there.
Okay. Well, that'll make for an interesting start.
Yep. All right, guys. Now I really do have to go. So, have a good night.
All right.
Later.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Later.